if if that was a ghost, he has to be one of the most pointless ghosts ever.
Yes, I agree.
Because what is the no? He just disappears.
He
between cars.
Yep.
Speaking of that, are y'all like susceptible to like hauntings and shit like that? Like, is that something that affects y'all's lives? Like, have you ever been like haunted, like seen a ghost or some shit like that?
Never.
I mean, I could share my ghost story. Unless haters got one.
You both have one?
One time when we were driving to Monterrey, me and my dad both saw like a lady in the road, like in the middle of the road, and like he legit thought like he had hit someone, so he like slams on the brakes, and he's all like, "You saw that, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we get out of the car, we don't see anything. Like my mom's like fucking like yelling at my dad for like stopping in the middle of the road. It was at night, and that like really like freaked me out.
Were you guys traveling?
I swear, yeah. To this day, I swear I saw someone on that road, and my dad, like the man, swears by it. But there was no one there.
Yeah, and then you ran over her, motherfucker. That's why you didn't see her anymore, because you fucking ran over her.
Yeah, no, and they call them prostitutes over there in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You ran over a prostitute.
So you saw a woman in the middle of the road. You went through her. You hit something, and then you couldn't find her, and you just decided to. It must have been a ghost.
Kill a prostitute.
Pretty much.
That was the most logical. That was the most logical explanation. Yeah, I guess it was a ghost. Good luck, bro.
And then, like one of those movies, like the next day, they're eating in a restaurant, and on the TV, they're talking about a prostitute that was killed.
I could have sworn I saw that person before.
And then your dad was like, "Son, never talk about this."
Yeah. Good luck, bro. Good luck with the police.
I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is over with that.
And were you a kid at the time?
Yeah.
Were you a kid he doesn't want to answer, bro. He's pleading the fifth. Bro, pleading the fifth is an American thing. If you did a fucking crime in Mexico,
just never go to Mexico, dude.
Yeah, you don't have the same rights over there, bro. They'll beat the fuck out of you until you remember that you're guilty. No, but you were a kid, you said, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It reminds me before you get to Juan's either ghost story or fucking murder confession.
Right.
Yeah, recently, right? In there was like a mysterious disappearance of that girl in Monterrey.
Oh,
you heard of that one, right? That she was found like in a fucking well, or she was found like in a fucking
I think so,
sewage thing. Did they ever discover what happened with that?
Yes. Did they ever discover? Did they ever told the media? Never.
Nah, because speaking of what Hater was saying, there was a photo of her that her Uber driver took. That she was just like in the middle of the road. Different time. Look at Hater's face. He's like, "Fuck." No, different. Yeah, no, different time frames. This was recently, and and apparently there's a lot of time that hasn't been accounted for that she went missing.
I thought I heard in the news that it was gang violence.
Yeah, me too. But you never know, dude.
Yeah, over there you never know, Brian. Especially if you're like a fucking, I don't know if we could say these words on YouTube, but if you're like a rapist or if you're like a fucking murderer, and you know that more than likely they're gonna pin it on like organized crime. I feel that these motherfuckers are more inclined to that. I might get away with it because you're not gonna go fuck for the death of one person. The cops are not gonna get involved into a fucking drug cartel shit. So they'll just pin it on that. And furthermore, that kind of like reminded me, and I think this goes back to like what we were talking about earlier about creepy videos. That girl in the elevator girl that there was video of her in the elevator. That, what was her name? Lisa what?
Elisa Lam.
Elisa Lam, yeah. And I think that one was never figured out either, but I had heard several theories that, and these I don't believe in, but it's still interesting to explore, that she was playing like a game to go into another dimension. So apparently in that hotel, like, you need to go up and down a certain amount of times, and there's like a secret floor. Some bullshit, bro. I don't know. I personally don't think so, but yeah, that one. I don't think that one was solved either. That she was
no.
In the new documentary, I think they said that they found drugs in her system, and that's what they went with for the cause of death. That she was like drugged out of her mind, and she somehow ended up making her way up there and closing the door and shit.
To me, that's the more likely scenario. I haven't seen that documentary. I would want to. Is it like on stream? Is it streaming like on
Netflix?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
That sounds like the more likely scenario to me.
I didn't see the documentary, but I remember at work, like my coworkers telling me like they were gonna watch it, and then the next day being mad that it wasn't solved, like the crime wasn't solved. And like, motherfucker, that's the point of it. Like that's why it's famous. It's like when you're watching like a history channel about aliens, and they're like, finally, we're gonna find the truth, and then at the end, you'll never know.
Yeah, or like, like if you read a book on Jack the Ripper, and then like these motherfuckers didn't tell me, I can't wait for part 2. Like motherfucker, there's no part 2. Then no one knows.
Yeah, you're going to watch Titanic. It's gonna sink, motherfucker. It's gonna sink. Spoiler alert.
All right.
I want to watch part 2 of Titanic where Jack comes back.
They go to fight the iceberg.
As the angel of death. Yeah.
But to comment also on the Elisa Lam situation, I think another thing that a lot of people overlooked is that she actually had like a recorded history of like mental disorder. Like she had like either bipolar disorder or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she was off her medication. Like she didn't like, I don't know if she just either got a new prescription, just never refilled it, or she just flat out just would stop taking it. And I know we like to like look into the mystery of it, but it's like, I feel like this is one of those where it's like, I don't think there's much of a mystery to it. I really think it is just flat out like she was just having a manic episode, if you will. And we just like caught those moments, because even like if you look at the footage, I think in like the elevator, you see that like she never hits a button, so that's why the elevator stays stuck there the whole time. She wasn't going anywhere, and yeah, I mean, but
it's like most of the time, you know how people are like, hey, maybe she was like mentally ill, but then you're like, no, like it has to be something else. Like it has to be something.
or you latch on, like they say, like it's unlikely that she could have closed it from the inside or some shit. Yeah, motherfucker, unlikely. Like it could have still happened. Like unlikely does not mean like mathematically impossible. Yeah, so I go with that. And hey, man, I hate to say it, but if like someone got away with it, I mean, perfect murder, bro.
Right.
Like you need evidence to fucking.
Maybe it was one of us.
Yeah, maybe it was Hater. Maybe that was the girl in the middle of the road.
The next day on CNN.
Him in Monterrey, California, not Monterrey, Mexico.
Killer confesses on podcast.
Bro, speaking, I don't know why it came to mind. Like, yeah, as long as it gets his views. Like, like there was this guy that the videos that I do like to watch on YouTube are the guys that do like the climbing cranes and like free climbing buildings and shit. There was a dude that I didn't follow, but that his death was recorded on film, where he was jumping off of like, not off of, but like on top of like skyscrapers.
Yeah,
and he would do like parkour. Yeah. And then there's one where he panicked, like he didn't have the strength to pull himself up to get over the ledge, so he wasn't grabbing onto something like that. He was like grabbing onto like with the top of his hands, because it was wide to where he couldn't actually grab like a bar or some shit. So you could tell where he starts like panicking and he starts fucking trying to like it's some fucking anime character run up the fucking wall, and then his hands just give out and you just see him.
And you just I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and people were like, oh, like he was like it was one of his last ones, like he was trying to pay for his wedding or whatever. I'm like, bro, you can't like get a fucking retail job or some shit. Like you have to jump off.
They were hiring at the.
That wasn't one of his last ones. That was his last one.
Oh, that was his last one.
It was his last one. Yeah,
that was his. There you go.
Hey, the video went viral, bro. So he could have probably gotten married with that.
Unfortunately, I don't know if we wonder if we should jump to the actual like scary
are you
videos,
making
like
a joke about it by saying jump?
No.
Oh, your ghost story. Your ghost story. I'm interested in that.
Oh, my ghost story. Right. Okay. So me and my friend we were driving down the road, and I guess they're called prostitutes. Prostitute crossed the street, and then she just disappeared. Okay, I'm fucking around.
Okay. I was about to quit.
No, for reals. This was years ago. I would say maybe like 10 years ago. My friend was giving me a ride back to my house. Walter, if you're watching this, here's your shout out. He was giving me a ride back to my house.
Probably not, but
and yeah, I don't think he's watching me. In all honesty, I don't think he is. I don't know the name of this neighborhood, but to Eagle Pass viewers, it's that neighborhood where Rancho Escondido is, whatever that one's called, that little area. And we were cutting through there, and that's when a car just lit up and then immediately got on the road, like right behind us. And we're like, what's okay? We just kind of came out of nowhere. And so as we're going through the neighborhood, it's a one-way street, and it was the weekend, so there's all these parties and whatnot going on, carne asadas. So there's cars parked on both sides of the road, so the only way to go through is right through the middle. And that car that just lit up right behind us, it's nighttime, the windows were just pitch black, you cannot see inside it, and it was basically tailgating us, and it's like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And so we're trying to squeeze through all of these cars because, again, they're parked on both sides. And then that's when, just in an instant, that car just goes away. And I'm like, wait, did it? And I look at him, and he's like, yeah, that car just disappeared. So he drops me off at my house, and it's like, bro, you're just going to go straight to your house, right? And he's like, yeah, fuck this. Like, then we're done. I'm like, all right. And so I felt bad because it's like, man, he was giving me the ride back home, but he has to make the trip back through that same fucking place by himself. And it sucks because, like, you play it back, like, in your head. You're like, nah, what if he just parked in one of the garages there? What if he just... But it's like there were cars on both sides. Like, how did he, like, squeeze in there that fast? Like, and... Like, yeah, like, you just doubt it. Like, in your head, you're like, did you really see that? Did that really just happen? And you think, like, no, there has to be, like, a logical explanation. But I don't know. I guess that's ours because, yeah, we were the only ones in the car. He was driving and I was in the passenger seat. And, yeah, and it's...
But you didn't see it disappear? You just saw it, like, disappear behind the cars, right?
Yeah, like it was, like you see it 1 second, you look away, and then when you look back, it's gone. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of those.
How about like a little, just to get a feel for the audience? Because Rene looks scared out of his mind. From one through 10, Rene, how scary was that?
I'm gonna say I can compare it to me. No. I was gonna say I can compare it to me seeing Hater's face for the first time, but no, that was scary. That was actually scary. No, dude, like if that was a ghost, he has to be one of the like most pointless ghosts ever.
Yes, I agree.
What is the? No, he just disappears.
He
between cars.
Yep. And it tailgates
it's
That's
actually
all
you.
it does.
It's actually very
It doesn't
respectful.
cut you off. It just follows you.
You're actually thankful that he like, hey man, like it disappeared.
Yeah.
Like it's not tailgating me anymore.
Like,
Hater, from 1 through 10.
A 5.
What?
How scared was Hater?
A 5.
5.
So you were scared?
It was meh. 5 is meh.
But you think it was a delivery, or you think it was the content of the story?
Well, Juan is an expert storyteller, so like.
So it had to be the content.
The story had me hooked.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like if
He set
like
it
if
up
Tom-
really nice, and then
It's almost like
I
it's
mean,
like
it wasn't a good one, and even I said like I mean,
It beats.
that's all I
beats
got.
my Ghost in the Highway stories.
nah. He was really into it, bro. He was doing character voices and shit.
Character
but I
voices.
get it.
It's like I only told it through my point of view.
Nah, it might be the skeptical in me. I always try to find like a logical explanation. So I would give it like a -4 at most.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that I can
Simon
probably
Cowell
remember a
over
time
here.
where I thought like I saw a car and then it disappeared. Like that has probably happened to all of us. Like, why it's like, nothing special.
right.
Yeah, like if you would have said, "Hey, man, I saw because you wouldn't pay special attention to a car unless there was something extra. Like if you I thought you were gonna say like, oh, like the car, and we saw that it was like floating. It wasn't actually like rolling. Like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden we were like, bro, is that shit floating? And then it just disappeared into thin air. That I mean, I wouldn't believe you, but I could be like, okay, that would be scary if I saw that. But if I saw a car behind me and then I look back again and it's not there, I don't even think it would register in my mind.
Or if you say like, a skeleton was driving it and he was like picking us up, and then you're like, oh shit, like, I want to see that ghost again.
No, that'd be a fuck awesome story.
So Rancho Escondido, it's called, right? Is that known to be? Is that known to be like a scary place?
That's probably the scariest
not
part
at
of the
all.
story.
Not at all.
Name, right?
No, the only like creepy place here is there's that abandoned house in the downtown area. Everyone just calls it the haunted house. I don't think there's anything about it that's like haunted. It's just abandoned.
So there are no stories, like scary stories over there?
In Eagle Pass, they should, bro. Yeah, you go into their mall, bro, and that looks like you traveled in time. You're walking back into 1975.
It's stuck. It's
stuck in the
70s,
past.
80s. Yeah,
no lie.
Because one thing I found is that over there in San Antonio, they have tons of scary stories.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Eagle Pass. San Antonio, yes.
No. I was talking about
no,
Eagle
but he
Pass.
was. But like, yeah,
I'm comparing it to San Antonio. That they have a lot of stories.
Yeah,
and people over there like those stories.
I had a classmate that worked as a bartender at one of the hotels in downtown.
Which one? The one that used to be a jail?
I have no clue, but she said it was considered one of the most haunted ones here.
There's several.
Whatever that was.
There's several hotels downtown.
I think, And then they have obviously the one with the train
tracks.
The train tracks, yeah.
That's the most famous one.
The Donkey Lady Bridge. I don't know if y'all heard of it.
I have.
I've
there's
never
that
heard of that one.
Then there's like an asylum. And there's tons of like stories and places. And over here in Laredo, we have the Mercy Hospital, which is like
I've seen videos of it, and they're a little underwhelming.
Yeah, because it's not really that. I mean, it doesn't actually have a story. They sometimes they say that they can see like a nun at night, but that's it.
Yeah, and especially because like I think what's scary, it's like these unexplored places that have been unexplored for years. There was this group of people that do like ghost hunting, and I was watching them on YouTube a few weeks ago, and the dude was saying like, yeah, that they ran into a bunch of people in there,
like
people,
homeless.
yeah, homeless and people, because he was like, hey, like, what do y'all do? Are you a ghost? Manifest yourself or whatever, and then because he saw like, I swear I saw someone, and then the people were like, he suspected they were like undocumented immigrants.
And then you hear like, give me $1, motherfucker.
And this dude was like, no, like I'm not like La Migra or anything. And go, oh no. Like no, we were also like exploring or whatever, and these guys were like, nah, it's bullshit, bro. These guys were like hiding.
We're hiding,
yeah.
But that's the thing. Like if there's a play, part. you need a good story. Like you need a good story, so you can.
Is it even that old? Is it even
Mercy? Yeah.
How old? Like, is it that like turn of the century? Like early 1900s?
Nah.
Or nah?
I don't think so. I don't really know, but it at least like 80 years?
50s? Like at least in the 50s? It was around in the 50s.
At least. But yeah, no, over here we don't have a lot of like scary stories. One time they talk about like one of the like a bike trail that they saw La Llorona, but then you're like, so now La Llorona can like come to the U.S. or what's the deal? Yeah. She has a visa or what?
Yeah.
She got her passport.
I remember the one story that I did. I had a friend that would tell like good. No offense to Juan, but he would tell like scary stories. Right? no,
good
but like
stories.
not good stories, but more compelling, I guess. And he
so
told
you're
us
blaming
once
the storyteller.
the story. Because the
okay.
stories were actually compelling. Not that Juan's wasn't, but you know what I mean.
I mean, it wasn't, but thanks.
You're like, I'm admitting it. Like,
like, yeah, that's why I didn't really want to tell it. Because I knew it wasn't good.
So that you think that's why you're not that susceptible to like hauntings? Like, like if you hear a sound, do you try to give it a rational explanation, like, oh, maybe someone's outside, or do you give it, or are you like, oh my god, like that's a ghost?
No, like I always rationalize it, unless like the one where I immediately go like, okay, no, that's a fucking ghost, is if something falls down like just by itself. That's when I'm like, all right, there's a ghost, I'm out of here.
Yeah, a fucking duende.
Yeah, but if it's a sound, no, I'm just.
And I'll tell you, because there was these apartments where we used to live, and they were built like in the fucking 50s or whatever. And we were talking about scary stuff. And I think you become, your senses heighten. And I remember that at these old apartments, you could hear a lot of things around you, like outside. So we were going to bed, and we had just talked about like scary stories, but I was like laughing it off, Simon, right? But you still have that in your mind. So everything was quiet. All of a sudden, we heard like a loud, like, bang, and we both jumped. Like, oh shit! Like even I got like scared because it didn't sound like someone was breaking in or anything. It just sounded like a big thud, like from somewhere else. And then I look out the window, and this dude was bringing down like his groceries, and he was slamming his doors and his fucking trunk. So under any other circumstance, I feel that I would have been like, I wouldn't have even noticed it. Mm-hmm. But I think it was the fact that you're telling these scary stories. Yeah. That your senses are heightened.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I mean, it happened to me. I don't like. Nothing paranormal has ever happened to me. So that happened to me when I went to San Antonio with the Beyond the Darkness podcast. So we were gonna do a video over there about the hotel that used to be a jail downtown. But then
San Antonio, you said?
Yeah. Oh. But then we started talking to people, and they were like, "Hey, you should go to the Donkey Lady Bridge." We were like, "What's that?" And then, "Now you need to go because it's pretty scary and whatever." Okay, so we put it on Google Maps. We went over there. It's pretty like far from like businesses and everything. So it's like in the woods or whatever. So you go there, you take a little road, and then you get to the end, and you can see this little, like the entrance to this little bridge. The story was that, actually, I don't want to butcher it, but a lady ended up, so like people ended up burning her and her family, including the kids, because there was a house there. So they ended up killing them, and then now the ghost of the lady hunts whoever crosses that path.
For was there a reason for it, or just like criminals?
There was a reason. I don't really remember. Okay. But the thing was that like if you went at night, you could like either see the ghost, hear sounds of a donkey. I don't remember why the donkey. Where does the donkey come in place in the story? But there was a donkey died in the fire. Yeah, I don't actually remember the story, but whatever. If someone's from San Antonio, they can write the whole fucking story in the comments. So we went over there, and it was dark as fuck. It was like 12 a.m. And we didn't, like, stupid motherfuckers, we didn't took flashlight. So we only have the lights from our phones. So with the lights from the phones, you could see, like, I don't know, like
5 feet if anything.
Yeah, if anything. So we went over there, we were walking, and then we start seeing this greenish light on like a little far away, but it was like floating, and we stopped, and I was like, no, like in me, I was like, wait a second, because they wanted to start running, my friends, and I was like, no, let's wait, like let me see this thing, because I can't be, it's not a ghost, it can't be a ghost. Yeah. And then we all like pointing our lights to the fucking reflection, because it was a reflection. And we saw this green ghosty light floating. And I was like, fuck, it's a ghost. It has to be a ghost. Like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And we all ran back to our cars. And then we were like, dude, it can't be a fucking ghost. Like, come on. We have to go again. We went again. Nope. It was the reflection of our fucking phones hitting a sign, a green sign. So it was making this weird reflection. But since we were using our phones, like only like a little light was hitting it, like directly. Yeah. So you didn't see like the pole or anything from the sign. You only saw like the green part of it. Mm. So it fucking looked like a ghost, like a floating green creature. But yeah, at that time, at first I was like, no, it can't be a fucking ghost. We all pointed like our lights to it, and the second time I was like, no, fuck it, it's a ghost.
I'm gonna give that one a 7, bro. You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm gonna give that's the thing. Like we were scared because like it was pretty fucking dark, and
it's the fear, and you're already so. I don't know if this goes through your head. One of the things that will go through my head if I'm doing that would be, please don't let me get stabbed by a motherfucker.
Bro, that was my fear. Like that was actually my fear. Like some fucking homeless crazy guy is gonna come at me. And then the worst thing is that when we were parked there, I think this is like a thing for people that live in San Antonio. They go at night to show their friends, like, hey, this is the place. So they go and park. So when we went there...
So you could hear the little murmurs of other people?
No, when we went there, it was just us.
Oh,
and then we saw a car coming from behind, but like super fucking slow. Dude, I was like, we're getting killed. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's the lady right there.
Let me call my mom.
She traded in her donkey for a fucking car, and she's coming for us.
Yeah. So I was like, that motherfucker got a car. And then they approached us, and then like fucking stopped next to us. And we're like, what the fuck? We opened our window, and it was like a mom and her kid, and then like the 2 kids in the back. And then we were like, hey, do you know like the story of this? Yeah. I brought my kids to show them que no sé qué.
Ma'am, do you know the story? Ma'am, do you know the story of this? And then she's like, yeah.
And then
she turns and she's all burned.
And let me tell this. So we were talking to her, and she was like, "No, but the story is this and that." And we were like, "Have you all gone like walk through the fucking bridge?" And she was like, "I did it like a year ago or something like that." And we were like, "Did you find anything? Any ghosts?" And she was like, "No, but like one of my friends said that when she was walking there, a guy tried to stab her."
Jesus.
Oh, fuck. We're like, "Oh fuck! I told you guys." So then we had that in mind. So I was like, if something happens, it's gonna be a fucking guy stabbing us.
Yeah.
And then for some reason we were already like getting kind of scared. The kid in the back of the truck, I'm guessing he was kind of like, I don't know. I'm guessing he was mentally ill because he started screaming, but like creepy as fuck. We were
That's
like,
the last thing you want to hear, bro.
Bro, either he got possessed or we saw a kidnapping. Like,
Yeah.
he was probably trying to kill a motherfucker there in the woods. So we were like, nah, this is not our night. Like, let's come back later.
Bro, can you imagine if that was the case?
Yeah.
Like you going back, like you look at the news in the morning, like 3 children found murdered by the bridge.
No, but we were thinking that we stopped it because she went back. Like right after we stopped talking, she went away. So we were like, she was probably planning on killing them there. And then
you see witnesses say that three men were in a car. Yeah, were seen last night with their phones out.
And we drop our SD card, so they found it, and they look at the footage. Yeah, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. These motherfuckers.
But yeah, man, it's all about like once you get into it, you're like, I'm in a dark place.
Yeah.
I don't see anything, and then you see something like floating like far away, and then you're like, fuck, it might be a ghost.
Yeah, especially when it's things that you don't I think that's one of the big things, when it's things you don't understand. Like you said, like I saw this green thing. Maybe if you knew a lot about, like, I don't know, like light, how light works.
It crossed my mind at all.
If you were like maybe like a fucking, I don't know, like a scientist in colors and light,
right?
You'd go and everyone's like, oh shit, oh no, it's cool. Yeah, it's a whatever the fuck. There must be a sign around. Oh, there it is. It's right there. But the fact that you're not too familiar with all that shit. I think like myths and legends, and I mean, no offense, but like gods and these stories, they come from that fear of like the unknown.
The unknown. And then you all probably have heard about lechuzas.
Yes.
So it was a thing that my mom used to tell me the story about when she was little, that one lechuza used to stand like outside her grandpa's house, and that there was like a relative that she was sick, and supposedly whenever the lechuza would stand like outside, she would get bad, like super sick or whatever. So supposedly what you need to do to like scare the lechuzas away is to start cussing at them.
Yeah.
Like saying bad words.
What the fuck?
So that my grandpa... Yeah, you never heard
It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a thing.
No.
So my grandpa will go outside and start cussing at the lechuza, and then after a few minutes, the lechuza will leave. And the belief was that the lechuza was a bruja that was like cursing a person. So when you hear this story, you're like, fuck, that sounds like true. Like if the lechuza was there, she was getting super sick. Then the grandpa started like cussing at the lechuza, and then the lechuza left. You're like, this might be real. But then like a few years ago, I saw a video of a lechuza that was inside a church, and it was like standing on top of like a pole, like inside the church. So all the people started like chanting, so it will scare the owl, the lechuza. Yeah. But then the lechuza started like dancing to the song. Like, that's not a motherfucking bruja, dude. Move.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you hear all this stuff, you started like being like, it might be true because this happened and this happened, and that's how rumors and this kind of stories like get started.
Pass through generations. And then they're not important enough because I'm a mamon, right? So someone will tell me like, my cuñadillo would tell me that a lechuza, but dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you're watching, bro, he's not watching. What am I kidding? He said that he was a lechuza tried to steal him from his mom's hands.
Okay.
And
when he was like a little kid.
When a baby, baby.
Like was he the size of a rat?
Just fucking huge, dude.
I would need a lot of evidence because as a baby, I could still believe it, like hunting or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Again, the unknown. I don't know lechuza's fucking, habitat and their fucking
predatory
behaviors.
Like
predatory behaviors. I don't know if they fucking eat babies and shit. Yeah. But yeah, if I see, like, I'll believe it when I see a lechuza carrying a fucking carrying Hater through the. You just see Hater floating. It's a fucking lechuza dropping him off on top of the Mercy Hospital.
And we were like, no, ya se lo llevó.
Ya se lo llevó la lechuza.
We can do shit about it.
Y luego...
It was the lechuza reincarnated as the girl I ran over.
Yeah.
You see?
The lechuza turns around. You're like, no, I'm cursing Hater, not you.
Yeah. The lechuza laughing like...
No, but one of my camarada would tell the scary stories. He would talk a lot about lechuzas, and I think another bird associated with witches is it an urraca, a crow?
Yeah.
Would it be a crow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was and he was telling us that there was this crow that would sometimes stand. There was this house in the corner of his street where a viejita lived by herself. Mm-hmm. She was like a widow. And she was very to herself, very recluded. And, people would murmur that she was a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's funny because you watch a show like El Chavo del Ocho.
El Chavo, yeah.
And it's true. Yeah. Like someone, a viejita that's like very to herself and she's kind of scary. Kids associated with a witch. Yeah. And that... that sometimes there was specific nights where the crow would stand like at the top of her house, and whatever sounds crows make, they would do that, right? The crow would sing, and then so it was rumored that when that would happen, it was the viejita that turned into a crow, and then is it a crow or a raven? I don't know. I'm lost in translation, but the point is that there was this one time where the crow got there and for days straight was just there hanging out and singing and doing whatever sounds they make. Oye, pues qué chingado. So when they hadn't seen the viejita for a few days, so when they went and checked on her, she had died a few days earlier. So it was assumed that the crow never left because it was the actual viejita that was like the witch or whatever.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of like, that's how these stories are passed down, and I don't think it's exclusive to him. I don't think he lived it, to be honest. I haven't seen him in years. I just think these are stories that are very familiar. Like, I saw everyone like nodding their heads like, yeah, that's something that you hear very often, from people. It's part of like our culture and our mythology.
The ghost car was like it was a viral video where... And I'm pretty sure you can still find this one on YouTube. I'm pretty sure if you look up ghost car, guaranteed it's probably going to be one of the first results. And it's like a white car, like driving through like a forest. Like it's going down like a path, and there's like a tree. And it goes behind the tree, and then all
it looks
of a sudden,
like a car commercial.
The camera's still panning this way. Yeah, but there's no car, and you're like, what the hell? Where's the car? And when you get close, that's when like this monster just pops up and like yells at the screen.
Okay. So it was pretty much the same thing as the others with the Exorcist girl.
Yeah, exactly. Except this one was like a monster. It wasn't the Exorcist. And Hater said it. It actually was a real car commercial. I think it was like in like Germany or something. So I'm like, they aired this on TV. What the hell? Like,
yeah.
I honestly think if I saw that like on TV, I would never want to watch TV ever again in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if during the fucking Super Bowl when you're drunk as fuck and then all
Like,
of a sudden you
yeah.
see that shit.
Or that, or like, I mean, I would fall asleep with the TV on sometimes. When I would forget to put the sleep mode or whatever it's called, the timer, and so I can't picture like me waking up at 2 in the morning or something and then seeing that on the TV or hearing it, you know, will wake me the fuck up. But yeah, this was like a whole genre of them because they were done as like pranks. Like you would send it to somebody to try to scare them. The other one was the maze game, where you had to move your mouse through like a maze, and if you touch the side, you would lose. But the way it worked is that I think the whole thing was only 3 levels long, and the first 2 are super easy. But then when you get to the third one, that's when at the very end, that's when the border normally was this thick where you could move the mouse. Now it's this thin. So it really had to be pixel perfect. And so you would have to get real close to the screen, and you're trying to move your mouse, but the way it worked is like, let's say, like, this is the path left to get to the end. When you're down here, that's when it triggers the scare. And it was, I think it was the Exorcist face in that one. And and that one, I remember finding out about it because other people fell for it. And so they warned me about it. No, the one that I fell for, and I still hate my sister for this one, is she showed me this one that it was like, oh, find like 5 things wrong with like this picture. But it wasn't even in English or in Spanish. I don't even know what language it was in, but basically it said like, find 5 things wrong with like this photo. And it was a picture of like a boat going through like a canyon, like in a river or something. And I looked at it, and I'm like, it's the same fucking picture.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, look at it again. And that's when I noticed that like the speakers were up like at max volume to the point that you hear that hiss. And I'm like, what the hell? So I lowered it. I'm like, why do you have it like so high? And I'm still looking at like, and it took a while too. And I'm like, you swear there's 5 things wrong? And she's like, yeah, like, and she's watching TV, like, all distracted. She's like, yeah, just keep looking. And I'm like, well, can you give me a fucking hint? You found him, right? She's like, yeah, I found him. Well, what's a hint? Look at the boat. There's nothing there. And then that's when it fucking popped up. Like, right when she told me, just look at the boat. I got in close, and this fucking demon thing, like, popped up.
But was there something, like, to trigger it? Or was it just like...
No, it's just, you have to leave it up for, like, a minute.
So she just happened to time it perfectly to tell you, like,
when she told me, look at the boat, like, yeah, like, that's what happened. But that's the thing, like, it took a while. That's some of these, it happens, like, real fast. Like, that ghost car video, it's a 30-second video. So, you're going to see it. The maze one, it's only 3 levels, and the first 2 are super easy. So, you're going to trigger it. This one, like, no, it had to have been there for at least, like, a solid minute. And, I mean, if you're trying to find 5 things different, and that's the thing, like, it is literally the same photo. I can't imagine, like, someone clicking on it, going like this for longer than a few seconds, and just going, it's the same picture, and then clicking it off, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I remember most about that one. It didn't use the Exorcist face, and that's like the most popular image to use. Let me see.
And you know what?
Huh?
We should do like so by the end of this video, like I'm gonna put we have an important announcement, and then make it like smaller, smaller, and then boom, the fucking hater's face.
Yeah.
There was another one that did that. It was like a song, and it had the lyrics written on it, but the lyrics were like this tiny. And as the video went on, they would get smaller and smaller, and so you would have to like lean in, like, what's the song saying? And then the face would pop up. The last one that I wanted to talk about, like as far as that I remember, if you guys remember any other ones, by all means bring them up. But the other one I remember, because this one's more modern, because all these that I talked about, they're from like the early days in the internet, whereas this one was fairly recent. This one actually was when we were in college.
Okay.
It's from Korea, I think. It's a comic. Yeah. And it's called the Bongchon Dong Ghost.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hope I pronounced that correctly.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Oh, you don't know about the name? Have you heard of it?
I remember, like, I don't remember the name, but I remember the
comic.
The comic.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So, what it is that it's a comic, and it got translated by like a fan. Into English, and what it is it's like a girl trying to head back home, and when she's walking, she sees like this lady from like far away, and she thinks she's drunk because she's kind of like moving like all weird and stuff like that. But then as she gets close, basically like the lady's like this, like she has her back, and then just instantly like turns around like that, and you're like, wait a minute, what the? It moved. I thought this was a comic book. Like, what's going on? And then that's when you see that, like, it's clearly like a dead lady. Like, you know, like her eyes are all bloody and stuff like that. Like, and so she's like, she tells the girl, like, where's my daughter? Where's my kid? Or whatever. And well, the girl's freaking out, and she's just like, and she just points in a random direction. And then the lady, like, walks over that way. So then the girl's like, okay, I need to get the hell out of here. And she's just leaving. And then that's when she just hears, you liar. And then you're reading the comic, you're scrolling through it, and when you scroll down, the fucking ghost just zooms in directly at you and yells. And it's like, oh, shit. Okay, that's enough internet. I'm done. And the one thing with me is that I'm so, like... I mean, I hate that I read it, right? But I'm at least thankful that, one, I saw it in the morning, and two, I didn't have my headphones on.
Yeah.
So the headphones were plugged in, but I wasn't wearing them, because it's a comic. I didn't think there would be sound. No, there's sound.
Yeah.
And so it was through the muffled headphones that I heard the scream, but it was on the desk. So I didn't get the full-blown effect.
Is it that?
Huh? Yes, it's that one. It's that. I mean, it's kind of... Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep, you just triggered the jump scare. Yep, it's that one.
So it's pretty much the same concept, but now they added, like, a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell... The guy that made it, he's done different ones, and all of them it's the same thing. It's a comic, and all of them move. They have sound.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody is brave enough to want to look them up, by all means, look them up. There's other ones, but this is the one that went viral. And funny enough, I think it went viral like literally everywhere except in like Korea, where it's from.
Yeah.
But maybe I guess because they had already seen it before. But yeah, that's the one. And I remember I found it because they put it on the front page of, I don't know if it was like Know Your Meme or Meme Base. Like it was on one of those like websites where you normally go for like dumb fucking videos or pictures. They posted it on the front page. And that's how I found it. And I remember just texting my brother like, dude, don't click the fucking comic that they posted. And he just texted me back, too late. Oh, I tried to save him, but I couldn't. He saw it already. But yeah, but that's the more modern one that's been going around. I know TikTok is kind of trying to bring them back, but I think the problem with a lot of these is that you can kind of just tell.
Yeah.
When it's
2022, bro. Like, yeah, that kind of stuff. You kind of expect it. You see it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing when, if you have like a a group chat on like WhatsApp or something, and you see a friend sends a video, and then like no one makes a comment. You know it's probably gonna be like moaning. Like,
Yeah.
So you lower the volume and you watch that shit. Because that, I mean, you can expect it.
Yeah, I remember when I was working at the gas station. I had like the assistant manager and the supervisor behind me, and I was at the register, and this guy comes in. There's no one in the store other than us, and the two of them, they're back there like all distracted or whatever, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, hey, pack of cigarettes." Okay, I'm scanning it, and while I'm ringing him up, he's on his phone. And then right when I'm about to tell him, like, hey, it's going to be $5.95, you just hear this moaning, and it's loud, too.
Yeah, it's just
and
loud.
I just look at him, and he's like, trying, like, and it just, like, he forgot where the volume button was on the phone, and stuff like that. He just goes, and then finally he gets it to stop, and he just looks at me, and I look at him, and then you just hear the two ladies right behind me just crack the fuck up, like just laughing in this poor guy's face, and it's like, bro, do you still want the cigarettes? Like, if you want to just walk out, by all means.